Hi students, good morning. Um, Last class we have discussed what is research, what is nursing research, and why the research is important to nursing. Okay, and what is the purpose of studying research in nursing. So now we will move on to what are the different types of research and what is research process. Basic steps in research process. Okay. So there are different types of research. If you open books, different books will explain different kinds of research. So here I have given you a very simple types which helps you. Okay, just to know what is research and its types. So types we can divide, classify research into basically based on the purpose of study and based on the methodology. Okay, and based on the purpose of study, the research is divided as basic research, applied research, action research, and evaluative research. So what is basic research? It is pure or fundamental research. Basic research is pure and it is a fundamental research type. Okay, it is like a scientific invention, something new you are identifying for the first time. We say it as it comes under basic research. For example, directly applicable to real world. Okay, it is something which you are identifying, new inventions. We say it as basic research. So for example, we can say study to understand normal grieving process. Everything has some example. Each research I have given some example in my notes. Okay, and next one is applied research. Applied research is practical research. You are applying it in your area of work area. We say it is applied research. We say it is practical research. So you can perform in the natural setting. Okay, like you won't change the settings or the environment, and you will just do the study or the research. We say it is applied research, which is otherwise called practical research. The next one is action research, which is cyclic in nature. So the steps comes back again to the planning. So you plan, do, check, act, and again you come back to planning. So it is called action research. You keep repeating with different kind of changes, or you make changes in the study and you keep repeating the study. We say it as action research. The next one is evaluative research, which is standard social research method. If you want to evaluate a program, for example, evaluate research, I have conducted classes in online method. Okay, and I want to do a research on this. So what I do, I will start getting feedback from each student of that event. After an event, we say it as evaluative research. You conduct an event, and at the end of the event you do a research on how successful was it. That is evaluative research. Clear? So based on the purpose of study, the research is basic, which is fundamental research or pure science where the invention is happening. Applied research is practical research. Action research is a cyclic in nature where it comes like planning, action, plan, do, check, act. PDCA, it comes again and again. Evaluative research, if you want to evaluate any social programs or event at the end of the program, you can do a feedback study. We say it is evaluative research. And the next one is as per the methodology. This we will study in detail in research methodology unit. So qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method. Qualitative means it's a you will see the quality of the product. So life experiences, situations, you learn it from the researcher's view. From your view, how the things are happening there. That is like you study a culture or a custom or a problem, usually a natural disasters. Okay, you will write it in words. Qualitative or usually in words, written descriptive words. Okay, because you are going to explain a product's quality. What you do, you will say that it is good. Yes, it is very comfortable to wear. So those comes as a word. Whereas quantitative is numbers. Okay, you will prove it by data and numbers. So we will study in detail about these type methods. Don't worry. Okay, qualitative and quantitative, and mixed means both qualitative and quantitative. We will have a detailed study of these things in research methodology. So if we see the types, it's for a quick reference. At least you should know what are the types of research before starting a research process. That's why. Okay, based on the purpose of study, basic, applied, action, and evaluative research. And as per the methodology, we classify it as qualitative, quantitative, and mixed research. Next, we'll move on to research process. This is very important. This is how our syllabus goes. Okay, what are all the steps? How we are going to do the research? You have studied nursing process. What is nursing process? The care what you are going to give is explained in step-by-step way. So same like this, the research what you are going to do, it is explained in the step-by-step way. We say it is research process. It is defined as a systematic process that deals with gathering and analysis of data in an objective manner. Okay. So phases of research. Research process have been explained in phases or in steps. If you go open the book, you can see in some book phases of research, or you can see in some book steps of research. So both are almost same. We will discuss in both the things. Okay. Both are almost same. So nothing to worry. Okay. Phases of research process. There are 5 phases happens in the research process. The first one is conceptual phase. The second is design and planning phase, empirical phase, analytical phase, dissemination phase. So don't worry, we will see one by one what it is. Conceptual phase. In conceptual phase, what happens? These are all the steps happens under one phase. So we study steps of research process under each phase. Okay, there is a problem with the spelling here. P is missing. Huh? Identification of problem. First and foremost thing in research what you should do is you have to identify a problem what you are going to study. So that's why research problem we say. So identify the problem, and you should know why are you doing this study. You should know the purpose of the study. So without a purpose, the problem or the research won't be a successful one. So you have to identify a problem and see why you need the problem to be studied. And once you are sure that you want to do the problem, then set objectives. Okay, you have to set goal, objectives at the end of the research, what you want, what you expect in your study. So set objectives, and then review of literature. So what you do is reviewing the previous research studies happened in the world. So whatever problem you select, if you search in the internet, there are people who done research or who discussed about the research or in the same area at least. So you have to review all those researches related to your problem. So that is called review of literature. Next, develop theoretical and conceptual framework. So once you have done the review, you have to relate your problem to theory or concept. Okay, concept is nothing but imaginary pictures. You can see that round thing you draw to make out a picture. That is called conceptual framework. We will explain or we will study every single thing in this steps. So don't worry, I am just giving you a nutshell information about the steps. Okay. Identify limitation. Sorry, this is also limitation and assumptions. Limitations means what are the your limits you are keeping. For example, you want to do the study, but you are restricting it to the district level. Yes, not the national level. You are doing to the district level or maybe a panchayat level. These are all the limitations. You are going to do the study on only 50 samples. That is the limitations. Okay, and then formulate hypothesis. Hypothesis is nothing but what is the researcher's expectation. We all are going to study every single part of this in coming units. Okay, so conceptual phase, what you do, you identify the problem, you define its purpose, why you need that problem, set objectives, do review of literature, conceptual theoretical framework, identify limitation, assumptions. So what the end of the study, what you expect, that is written as a statement called hypothesis. So these all things you do it in conceptual phase. The next one is design and planning phase. So what you do in this design and planning phase is you select the research design, identify what population you are going to study, whether it is a male or a female or a woman with 35 to 50 years or a preschool children or children under 5 years. So you will identify what population you are going to study, develop sampling plan and select sample. So there are different types of sampling methods. You will decide on one sampling method and you will select the samples. Okay, and before doing any kind of research you need to get consent from the people. We say it as ethical consideration or ethical clearance. So for example, if you are going to do a study on in a school children, okay, so you need to get permission from the school authorities. So you need to get permission from your college that you are going for a research study. So these kind of things are said to be ethical clearance, and you will conduct a pilot study. Pilot study is a duplicate or a small scale study done just before the real study. So design and planning phase include select research design, identify population, develop sampling plan and select sample, specify the method of sampling selection, ethical clearance and conduct pilot study. Then next is empirical phase. Empirical phase where you do is you design a tool to collect data and you collect data and organize it. For example, designing data tool. If you are going to do a study on nursing students impact on online teaching. Okay, so what is the tool you are going to do is mostly a questionnaire. Yeah, you will just write some questions and you will ask the students to answer the question. So you will design a data tool. The data tool is here nothing but a questionnaire. So you give the questionnaire to the students and they will answer all the questions and you will collect all the data. So collecting all the data, it will be in sheets. Yes or not? So you have to divide it into questions and what was the answer, and you will completely organize it. We say it as organizing the data. So in empirical phase, what is happening? You design a data tool, collect data and organize the data. Next we will move on to analytical phase. Analytical phase, what you do after collecting the data, with this data you have to find or interpret something. Yes, you want to prove your hypothesis, that is your statement is right, you want to prove. So for that you have to analyze the data and interpret the findings. It can be with the help of statistics. So there are a lot of statistics tools. With the help of that we will analyze the data. The next one is dissemination phase. Dissemination phase is like once you do a research, you are communicating to the others. You publish it in the paper, you publish it in the journals. And if that is related to your nursing or your field, you have to utilize it, use the findings to the things, to the your discipline or your subject. Okay, that is utilize the findings. So don't worry, all these phases, every single step, our next coming topics are this. Okay, so there are 5 phases: conceptual phase, design and planning phase, empirical phase, analytical phase and dissemination phase. So conceptual phase, you identify the problem, set objectives, do review, formulate hypothesis. And in designing phase, you will select the research design, population, sampling, get clearance and do a small conduct pilot study. And empirical phase, design data tool, design the tool, collect data, organize data. Analytical phase, analyze data and interpret findings. Dissemination phase, you will communicate and utilize whatever research you have conducted. Without this communication and utilization, your research will be only in papers. Okay, clear? So this is steps of research process. In some book, they have given like a steps like this. You have to define the research problem, do the review of literature, formulate hypothesis, prepare research design, data collection, data analysis, interpretation and report writing. So these are all the things we have discussed already in all these phases. So you can write it this way, but this is very short. So this will be more clear for you. Clear? So thank you. If there is any doubt, we have time, we can discuss.